Do you struggle with a pornography addiction? Do you find yourself not being able to resist the temptation, to not be able to give in to the urges, to fight off the cravings, and always find yourself either consciously or sometimes even subconsciously returning back to pornography? Well, if that's the case, brother, and you've been trying to overcome this addiction for any length of time, whether it's 6 months, a year, 6 years, or 2 decades like myself, in today's video, I'm going to break down and share with you the stupid, simple solution to overcoming your pornography addiction for good. And yes, I do believe it is as easy as I'm going to break it down in today's video for you. If you're willing to be truthful with yourself, if you're willing to walk in honesty with yourself, and if you understand why you use porn in the first place, because I think that's where most men stay stuck, is they do not, in fact, understand why they use pornography. They do not understand why they return back to the screen. For those of you guys that are new here, my name is Coach Frank Rich, founder of The Rebuilt Man, host of the Rebuilt Man podcast. It is our mission here to help men become better men by quitting porn and rebuilding their lives. Over the last 5 years, we've helped over 1,600 men walk down this path of overcoming pornography addiction into a life of absolute freedom. And it's using this simple framework, this simple approach that I'm going to break down in today's episode. But here you are, you're a grown man, 30 plus years old, married, dating, running a business, running an organization, achieving financial success, achieving success in all these areas of your life. Yet you cannot get rid of this behavior. Why is that the case? Well, for a lot of us, it's the story and narratives that we tell ourselves. Maybe we are holding on to something from the past when we first got introduced to it. Maybe we say that it's because our wife will not have sex. So we use the excuse of having a sexless marriage. In reality, the sexless marriage is the byproduct of the pornography addiction. Maybe we aren't married. Maybe we're struggling in a season of singleness right now. And we believe that if we get into a relationship, the pornography addiction will go away. Well, see, what we have to understand is all of these are stories and narratives that we tell ourselves. And we do not rewrite that story around why we use porn, then we'll never be able to truly get it out of our lives. You see, your desire to use porn is stronger than your desire not to use porn right now. Your desire to escape reality is a stronger desire in your life than the desire to lean into the resistance. You see, on average, I hear from dozens of men every single week. We have hundreds of documented conversations with men that reach out to us weekly, monthly. We've had thousands of guys inside of our coaching program. And most of these men come into the program thinking that pornography is their problem. Frank, I need you to help me solve this problem in my life. You see, if I can get rid of porn, then I can step into my greatness. You see, if I'm able to stop doing this thing, then I can become the man that God is calling me to be. And oftentimes, once we help them reframe this, once we help them flip the paradigm of how they're actually looking at the behavior. You see, if porn was truly a problem, you wouldn't consciously return back to it. I think the biggest realization that men can have that will set them down the path of freedom is understanding that porn is not the problem. Porn has become the solution to the other problems in your life. When you're stressed, instead of dealing with the problem of stress, you run to porn. When you feel rejected by your wife, instead of dealing with the problem of rejections, you turn to porn. When you're dealing with financial stress, instead of confronting it and figuring out how to solve that problem, you run to porn. When you're dealing with anxiety, social anxiety, fear of approaching a woman, instead of understanding that that is something that must be conquered, you return to porn. You see, all of these things over here are the problems that present themselves in a man's life. And your life is not meant to be problemless. In fact, if you're committed to living a big life, if you want success in any endeavor, that will only come with overcoming these challenges and obstacles. Think about the things you've already succeeded in. You've had to overcome adversity. You've had to step into resistance. You've had to lean into the difficulties. And it's in fact overcoming those problems that the greater version of you is unlocked. So instead of saying porn has become the problem in my life, recognize that it's the solution to the bigger problems that you're not able to manage. And once you flip that script, once you understand that porn is in fact the solution and not the problem, now you have a pathway to true freedom. Because the stupid simple solution here is, instead of using porn to solve those problems, you figure out better, healthier solutions. You see, 6+ years ago, I made a commitment to myself that I was going to get free of porn. And on February 14th, 2019, I stepped into this new life. I stepped into this new identity. But it started with me removing porn as an option. Literally, I cut it off as an option in my life. It didn't matter what I was dealing with. I knew that it, for 20 years, hadn't been the healthiest option. My life was proof of that. My life was proof that porn wasn't the solution that I needed in those situations. Because despite using it to manage stress, to deal with social anxiety, to distract myself, to escape the reality, despite using it for years for all of those reasons, those problems were still prevalent. And I continued through this cycle. I would feel stress. I would seek out porn. I'd have a short alleviation from it. And then minutes, moments, hours, days later, the stress would return. And oftentimes, because of the shame that was living inside of me, because of what I was doing and who I was, those problems began to compound. So the stupid simple solution here to your pornography addiction is to remove it off of the table as an option. It's to cut off the desire to use it. And you're saying, Frank, I don't want it. But you do. And some of these things are deeper inside. Now, I know that this is a rational conversation, and thinking these things is a lot easier than putting them into practice. That's why we've created a 12-week program that lays out a framework. That's why we've created a community of men that are attacking these same problems that you are. That's why we offered expert level and one-to-one coaching and accountability. Because understanding these principles is a lot easier than putting these things into practice. But let me ask you the question right now, because you know why you use porn. You do. You've been working at this long enough. You've been dealing with these issues long enough. You know the exact reason as to why you return back to porn. Now, the question is, are there other ways to deal with those problems that are healthier for you? Are there other ways to process those issues that wouldn't lead you to guilt and shame? Are there other ways to confront the challenges in your life that, instead of suppressing who you're becoming, would allow you to step into the growth of the man that you need to be? So the stupid simple solution here, my brother, is to cut pornography off as an option in your life. Now, there are tactics and tools and tips and strategies that can help in doing that. And that's what we provide you inside of our Reboot Your Life course. You see, I got free in February of 2019. By January of the next year, I was running a top-ranked podcast. We were sharing stories, interviewing others all around the world, and men began to reach out for my help. It was in that month of January 2020 that I heard a calling, and I said, you know what, God, I'm going to listen to you here. I'm going to see if I can help these other men. And that was the genesis of Rebuilt Recovery, which is becoming the Rebuilt Man, in the creation of the Reboot Your Life course. The Reboot Your Life program is designed and dedicated to help you get to the root of the issue, get clear on the man that you can become, pull out and kill off the desire for pornography in your life, so you no longer want or need it or desire it. How free would you be if you no longer wanted, needed, or desired porn in your life? We've built a proven solution. We've had 1,600 successful case studies and transformations. Our videos have been viewed and downloaded by millions of men. We've had tens of thousands of men use our free resources. Guys, these aren't just ideas and theories. This works. This works if you're willing to put in the work. So if you can remove the desire and cut off porn as an option, the pathway to freedom is you showing up day after day and doing what needs to be done. And if you want some help in doing that, visit skool.com, skool.com/reboot your life, or click the link down there in the show notes below. But I want to gift to you, for sticking around till right now, I want to gift to you a free week inside of our community. You can jump right in and start taking action on week 1. You can begin to pull out the desire that is living inside of you to keep porn around. And you can begin to create the vision for the man that you must become if you're going to walk in freedom. Now, when you join the school community, you get direct one-to-one support and accountability, live coaching. You get weekly group brotherhood calls. You get access to the #1 program in the world. You get additional resources to help you elevate your fitness and build the body that can walk in freedom. You have habit building curriculums. You have self-leadership programs and experts that come and contribute to our community on a monthly basis. 7 days for free. There's no commitment to stick around with us after if you do not like what you saw. But you clicked on the video, you listened to the podcast, you've stuck around this long because you know you're stuck. And the only way to unstick yourself is by taking a step right now. Click the link down there below, school.com, SKOOL.com /reboot your life, and I'll see you on the inside.